We are celebrating Grey's Anatomy's 300th episode. Viola Davis speaks out on Harvey Weinstein and much more coming up on Shondaland Weekly.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I feel like doing one of these.
I give you some of this.
Hey, it's a celebration. Come on. Celebrating 300 episodes.
Right?
Yes. Hey everybody, welcome to Shondaland Weekly. Thank you for joining us. I'm Elle Marie. You guys can catch me on Instagram and on Twitter at Elle Marie TV.
What's going on, world? I am Keith Andre here. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Keith_Andre.
What's up, you guys? I'm Lynneisha, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lynneisha, spelled Lanisha 914.
914.
Okay, you know I gotta do it with a sass.
Right?
All right, we have our. We always start the show with our wine of the week.
Yes. So, well, first of all, you guys noticed that Tori isn't here.
Right.
She couldn't be here tonight. We miss her dearly
miss you,
because
Tori.
she's always on top of the wine.
She's on top of us, yes.
You know, some kind of way it was okay. So to be clear,
I'm just waiting. Like,
I did say that I was going to bring the wine this week. But you know, life happens sometimes. So I didn't bring the wine, and I'm almost glad I didn't because Tori couldn't be here to enjoy the wine with us. So, you know,
we have a whole nother segment. Hello. Instead of wine testing, we are going to test this fabulous Coca-Cola.
oh my God.
it
Yes.
has about 1,000 grams of sugar.
Okay, I don't even drink
Yes.
soda,
For
but
those of you guys that don't really know
Cheers,
about
y'all.
Coca-Cola, it's bubbly, it's brown.
okay.
And what do you drink it with? Now, alcohol. What do you like to mix
Something
this
else
with?
that's brown. All right,
See,
so let's
Whiskey.
go on ahead and get into our news.
Yes,
Our
Shonda
Shonda news.
Nailed that one, right?
Yeah. Gotta love the sound.
Right,
Hey,
sound
hey.
effects. Speaking of
Right?
fancy.
Professional.
We are getting fancy. So, like we started the show, like I said at the beginning of the show, Grey's Anatomy celebrated their 300th episode.
Right.
That is
Yes.
a lot of episodes.
300.
Did you watch it? I know you're still on the
And-
Grey's Anatomy
I'm just gonna
bandwagon.
throw that still in there.
I mean, on one hand, I kind of wish that I was still watching because that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
300 episodes is such a big deal, and you always see shows when they get to like these big mile markers. They do something like we see Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
So how was it like being able to
For
watch
me,
it?
as I was watching it at first, I was waiting for like that big like OMG moment, like oh my god,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen? But it was just very nostalgic though. It wasn't more so about the drama, but just more so about just Grey's from beginning to end
To where it's
current,
come
to
to.
where it is now. Like they've made reference
Aw.
about almost every episode, all the characters past and present and
Oh,
things like that.
wow.
Yeah. One of the cute things that they did was they had these 3 characters because with the interns, how it started with Grey's Anatomy with Meredith, Karev, George, Izzy, and Christina.
Izzy
That was like the original crew.
Yeah.
So they had these 3 characters. But in particular, there was a Greg and a Cleo that represented George and Christina. And it was so
Aw,
cute.
bringing
Yeah.
back the OG.
Mhm. And then they had a character that represent Izzy, but the more of the focus was on like the George and Christina characters, like
Right.
playing off of that. And it
Because
was
they laugh in good grace.
right, yeah, they did. So it was
Shonda
like,
said, we'll still
throw
give
you
them
in there.
some. Right.
Like, let's give them their memory.
Right, but
Right.
Izzy,
Yes.
no.
We're not gonna touch on you too much. But
Ooh.
yeah, so they had there was a surgery where they made reference to Derek dying. Derek was
okay.
like Meredith's husband.
Yeah.
So and then his sister Amelia, she was part of the surgery. So when Derek passed away, it was this big thing that he needed a head CT to kind of scan his head. They skipped it, went on through some other things,
I
and
remember that.
yeah, it ended up being like that was the reason he died because ironically, like a brain injury and things like that.
Right.
So it was like kind of the same case, and Amelia was fighting like, no, get this brain scan, you need that. So it was kind of like a parallel.
She
to
making me
that
want to
business.
watch Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, it was so. There were like so many things that they did. There was a point where Arizona was referencing Sloan, you know, the father of her and what's the name's baby, Callie's baby. Got Callie's name for a second. But like, so she was talking about him. But what I thought was really cute was there was a photo, and they kind of glanced in on that photo. So what I liked about the episode was that they did all of this without really flashbacks. So it was a different creative way to kind of do that and pay homage to past characters and things like that, because they didn't do a flashback. Everything was just kind of...
It's like the real fans are going to know about
Yeah, you'll
this.
know what this is and
but
what this
still
represents.
keeping the show current and progressive. So that's cool.
It was really cool. And then another thing was that they said that this whole episode, everything was just women.
That's exactly what I heard, and I love that. Like, it was just the director, woman, producer, showrunner, everybody.
Everybody, showrunners, from writers, producers, everybody.
I wonder how they did that. It truly does prove that women could work together, because I'd be a little bit iffy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because we do get catty, especially in this business. But it's like nice to know that we could really work together.
Yeah, and not only that, but seeing them do it at this point, especially for like ABC, because I think other networks you see, I think on like Queen Sugar, like there are shows that just have like crews and just all women. So to see them, and once again for Shonda to take her platform with ABC and bring something different to the table is always good.
Because I think that was cool, just to kind of just another celebration of that moment. Like there was a woman that created this show, so you know what? In this milestone, like
let's honor that.
Exactly.
That's so dope. So dope.
So I really loved the episode. It was.
I'm glad you.
I know your face is all lighting up. I'm just like, I kind of want to watch the show.
Because you know, sometimes when you get to like that far, it can be like a hit or miss. Like you're saying, am I just gonna watch everything that I've seen up until this point? Is it gonna be new? Is it gonna be current? So it sounds like they really found a way to make everything just kind of work together.
And it's interesting because I read somewhere else that with Shonda, because we talked about like, it's still running 300 episodes. Right. That's a lot. And Shonda was saying that the show is probably going to continue until Meredith quits, until Ellen Pompeo quits. Like,
really?
So, Ellen, how much longer you want to work, girl? Like,
but I wonder, like, as a
that's
fan,
her baby, though.
As a consumer, I wonder, like, how long do you want to see this one person on TV in this, you know what I mean, in this character? And for Ellen, I salute to her, because look, that's really what she's given her career to. At this point, what else, you know, are we going to identify or allow to see you different?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So I guess on one hand, hey, I'm gonna keep this, ride this thing
until the wheels fall off.
I ain't mad at her.
But let's see. So another news, our next story would be about Viola Davis speaking out against Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my goodness.
And everything that's going on with that. It's so much going on with that. It's literally just seems like Hollywood is falling apart.
Yeah.
Because like it started with him, and it became a domino effect of all these other actors and directors, all these men in powerful places that have been abusing women for all of these years.
Absolutely.
2013. We're in 2017 now.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about. Like you said, ever since the Harvey Weinstein thing came out, it does feel that there's just onset of just all these names, all these people. And not only that, but we really get to expose kind of the entertainment industry to see like how common it is, whether it's women, it's men. It's just so much like sexual abuse that's been going on. We see all these campaigns, the Me Too hashtag. So I really could appreciate, at first I was wondering like, oh my goodness, like what is Viola, like what does she have to do with this, like what's going on? So it was nice to see somebody that, you know, maybe did not have that experience in the industry, but to acknowledge it the way that she did,
and then to still speak out against it.
I like that she was like, she said to the predators, Weinstein, the stranger, the relative, the boyfriend, I say to you, you can choose your sin, but you don't get to choose the consequences. To the victims, I see you, I believe you, and I'm listening. I thought that was really deep. Like,
it's super powerful.
Very.
For sure. And I think the one thing we probably, you know, as, you know, people who are consuming media have to be careful of is not allowing ourselves to be desensitized to it, just because it's so much coming out. Like every day, a couple of hours later, you read about somebody and then somebody else, and it's almost feeling like it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, well, this is just something that happens in the entertainment industry. Like,
We're just brushing
what
off.
else can
people.
what can I do about it?
And kind of on the flip side of that, it's unfortunate, like sometimes it takes a big name to speak out against things like that, because if you're more of a smaller figure in the industry and you speak out, people may not want to listen to you or even believe you. As unfortunate as that is, they may not even believe you. So it's sad that it had to take powerful names like Viola Davis and like Angelina Jolie and Gwyneth Paltrow to speak up and speak out about it.
Most
and another
definitely.
thing, that Viola said was that, what she say, our bodies are not spoils of war, not a trophy to be collected to fuel your ego. Like, it's ours. Like, our body, it's mine. It's not for you to take. It's not for you to have. It's not a trophy or a prize for you. It's my body.
It's mine.
And it's just crazy that these are predators. That's exactly what they are.
Oh,
To
for
feel like,
sure.
you know what I mean? To
They
take
see
advantage.
innocent people, and who knows? They probably started off with just offering them money. Like, that's how normally rich people are. They all start offering you a little bit of money, start getting comfortable around them, thinking that you could trust them, build that trust, and then have them take it from you.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like she said, they, the predators want your silence. So I think it was important that we continue to see these stories. Like all the names that you said, we've seen Lupita and just everybody kind of come out and support the cause and to stand like I'm an ally too. And I think it's important with Viola just showing that message. Like they want you to be silent. So don't. Even though it is all these names or all these different people, like the time is now to create a shift, because we're also, not only are we seeing like so many names come out and be visible with, the assault, but we're seeing them being dismantled. Like everybody's getting fired, everybody's getting dropped left and right, and that's something that has never really been done.
Gonna say that is a huge thing too. At least it's not just like a slap on the wrist, or like we just are saying like, oh, I can't believe they did that, and move on to the next story. Yeah, exactly. They're taking care of the issue, and like you said, there are consequences for these things.
It's like the slightest things. Nope, I don't want to deal with it. Next, goodbye, you're gone. So it's crazy, but
And
it's something
more
that I think we're going to
punishments to
continue to see, right?
Right.
And people getting pulled from films and deals. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes television, how it shapes award season. Like, I don't. You really don't know what to expect.
And award season is right around the corner, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. And the other thing too, the fact that it's not only women, it's men that were being affected or abused, also children. So it's. I mean,
it's so crazy to think, because it feels like it's the one industry that everybody wants to be a part of, entertainment. It's the commonality of just, you want entertainment, you want to see it, you want to be a part of it, whether it's so diverse, men, women, children, all races, like all these things. So to know that this has been going on, and this isn't something new, just like the other conversations we have on Shondaland Weekly, but it's just something that's being brought to light, and it is good to see that things are being done about it. I do want to see what they do differently. I know with the Weinstein, they were talking about, his position, he's been in power for so long.
And
to see the shift.
So much.
Exactly. He really has been controlling the business for so long. So I'm looking forward in ways to see, when the Oscars are like these shows come around, how are these actresses and actors, the
Going
same
to
people
react.
are exactly how they're going to present on that platform.
Exactly.
He should get booed. And then stuff thrown at him. I'm just saying. Nah. How you got there, that ain't right.
Right. It's not at all.
But I love that you guys shine the light on men. Because a lot of people take that very lightly. Like, nothing could really happen because you're a man. Like, they could still get abused and they could still get hurt and they could still be molested. Like, people don't ever realize this.
Yeah.
And not only that, we are learning, I think, globally as well, what assault means and what it looks like, because even in some of the men or some of these stories that come out, you think, oh, well, he didn't do anything, but what he did was too much.
Right.
He didn't have consent, and it's inappropriate. So let's put it on the table and talk about
and
it.
especially like someone like Terry Crews, with him speaking out, and you look at him like he is a big guy, you know what I mean, but that doesn't mean anything. He has vulnerable moments where he's in his career, and saying the wrong thing, reacting the wrong way could ruin that, and you still may be fearful of that. Like, size doesn't matter when it comes to those things. And I know a lot of people, unfortunately, you see the backlash on social social media with like,
Right.
oh, he's a guy, he's this big dude, and blah blah blah, all these other things, but it can still happen.
Exactly. And
Exactly.
even if it doesn't, if I say no, if I stop it, if it's dismissed, that doesn't excuse you
Your
trying
behavior,
to.
yeah.
No
Exactly.
way. No way.
And like you said, so that's a good point too, because I think when we hear assault and everything like that, and the behavior of it, we automatically think maybe like rape
Women
or
or
something like that,
children.
and
Exactly.
just
Automatically go
mostly
to
with
them.
women, but it's not always that. It's just, it can be behavior, and just, and if it's unwanted, it's still wrong. It's still harassment.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's not professional.
Not at all.
Okay, that's my thing.
Never
Keep it
that.
cute.
Like, you know,
Don't put
I've
it on
had
mute.
jobs where we've had sexual harassment classes and things like that. Paperwork you have to sign for
Right.
taking the course, knowing what's appropriate, what's not. And they, you know what, they may have it in Hollywood as well. And these people are just so powerful. They're like, whatever, I do what I want. Or
Yeah.
they may seem like it's not needed because it's one of
Yeah.
those unspoken things, like it happens. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you look at, I remember when Lupita had came, and she was telling her story, and she was just saying how just the nature of the business, like it is to be vulnerable, it is to be intimate, like that's a part of it. And she was saying, even in school and learning, like wherever she was, like they had to take classes on like massaging, and like as an actor with the actor, we had to massage each other. So when she got to the Harvey Weinstein situation where he asked her he wanted to give her a massage, and so she flipped it because she knew, if I can control this narrative, if I can give a massage, then it'll give me enough power to not be taken advantage
Yeah.
of. So the nature of the business, like having it be super like intimate and vulnerable, I get that it's boundaries and it's lines that are like
Yeah.
hard to define, but we got to do better.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have to do better.
especially even just because I saw it, but I didn't fully read her story. So just hearing that is like also the fact that you have to be on the defensive too. Like you're
Yeah.
going to
Right.
work and, you know, kind of do your dream job, and you have to be on your P's and Q's and totally like
Right.
have to have
Yeah.
your street smarts
Right.
with that. And you
Constantly
think that
being
this is a
conscious.
safe and a comfortable environment, and you're working, and it's like the
Yes.
total opposite.
not.
Like, think about the people who are not as not saying not smart, but just not as quick
Yeah.
to come up with something like that.
Exactly. You don't get the opportunity to save yourself.
It's so scary.
It's
Yeah.
tough. It is tough.
That's the
Dang, I wish we had
We
some
need
wine
to
today.
change it. We need to
Sorry.
change it.
I need some now. That was
Let's-
She reached
that
for a
was
glass
deep.
and realized
I
it
was
was
like,
soda and was
that's
like,
just,
that's not what I need.
That's not what I need right now.
Oh my goodness.
But Shonda has some things to say about this as well. She tweeted that. So let's go ahead and get into Shonda's tweets.
Yay.
I love our little music we have.
Right? That's so nice.
Take a little
So-
picture.
Because we're watching you,
We're
girl.
watching. We watching you, Shonda. So we caught up with her, retweeting. So this isn't a tweet that she said, but she retweeted this guy for what he said about the whole situation, about, you know, all these predators and things like that. He's saying all men need to do better. Some men just need to do more better than others, but all men can do better. We can stop encouraging bullshit. We can stop laughing at jokes. We suspect and admissions of guilt. We start snitching. We can keep respect. We can respect boundaries. We can believe women.
That is
And she
Like,
retweeted
right
that
on
like
the
exactly. Like,
I like what she
definitely like
said with
stop
laughing and
at
joking.
exactly. Stop
Right.
laughing at jokes and and suspect admissions of guilt. Like you just bypass that. Like it's a joke. Like they say 50% of what you say is serious, 50% is a joke.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But like if they're joking about it, they're admitting to what they did.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Right.
I have friends like that too. Not even just in the predators aspect, but also in the victim. A lot of the times, like, people just like to play it off like, oh, ha ha ha, he. But sometimes you gotta read past that. Like, why do they keep bringing it up?
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
What's the point of this? And I think it was important for Shonda to retweet that, because ultimately it gives that voice to such a bigger kind of audience and platform, but also to show, like, you know what? At a certain point, we got to take ownership of these things, because it is one thing to kind of see it or survey it through media and to
Yeah.
feel like it's foreign or it's unattached or far away. But we do have control in our everyday lives to contribute to making a situation better
Yeah.
for women, for sexual assault victims in general.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what, she was showing cause to.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it was a retweet from a man's perspective, like, and taking ownership and
Yeah.
saying, like, we kind of, like, we need to do better as men, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Instead of her kind of saying her piece, which is good, like we just spoke about Viola speaking out and saying her piece, which is, that's all good, but sometimes, you know, it needs to come from
Come
you
from
know,
the source. Yeah,
exactly,
it's
come
nice
from the
to see
source.
that. It's nice to see that, and that camaraderie amongst people as well,
Yeah.
because that's what the retweet shows too. Not only do I believe it, hey, but you believe it, and this is what we all
Yeah.
believe. This is how we feel. So let's
Yeah.
come together and do things differently, because there's no excuse at
Yeah.
this point. It's just
It's
tired.
not. And like he said at the end of this tweet, we can believe women. Like, we can believe them. So I
Yeah.
saw a post on IG, on Instagram. I'm not sure who posted it, but it was the fact that they were like, oh, 50 men can call a woman a hoe, and we believe it. We don't question it. She's labeled, she is now a hoe. But 50 women can call a man a predator, and we question it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that says a lot right there.
Yeah.
It does, and it's unfortunate because it's not just a one-sided type of thing, because you see so often where women too are the same ones who don't believe other women. I
Yeah.
can't remember years and years ago. I can't remember who it was that told me something, but it was just like, for a woman should never like not believe a woman, and it stuck with me because I wanted to be kind of that person. You should always. I don't have a reason to not believe you. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
yeah.
it takes a lot, and so we need to not be so quick to be like, oh, you know, they ain't do it.
Yeah.
Remember when the
Yeah.
whole like whatever was happening with like Nelly, and people were saying like
Oh,
something
yeah.
happened, da 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 da. But you see like so many people who were like, oh, that's not his character. And
Right.
granted, we can feel that way, but it's just we have to monitor. Or police like how we're responding to these things,
That's true.
because if we're not giving people the encouragement or enough space to like really tell their truth,
Yeah.
then what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then we gotta also stop putting the answers in their head. A lot of times we'd be like, well, what did you probably do? Did you maybe drink a little bit too much? Do you think that maybe this could happen? Then they start rethinking themselves like, well, maybe
Yeah.
it was my fault.
Right.
Yeah, we do that. We kind of blame the victim a lot of times, and like you just said, Keith, like I'm guilty of the whole Nelly situation, because as soon as I heard it, it's like,
That ain't
no,
true.
not
Right.
Nelly. No, you know what I mean? But and then
Exactly.
when it happens so much, that is the reason why so many women or people are so afraid to come
To
forward,
speak
because
up.
they will not be looked at as a victim. They will be, you know. I don't
gonna
know the other word for it, but it'll just be
Yeah.
like they're the one they're starting trouble.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they're the problem,
Trying to
not
take
the
it-
person that assaulted
Yeah.
them.
Exactly.
Either a gold digger or trying to get the money.
Yeah, and we see in
Yeah.
those situations when they do fizzle out, we'll never know. You know what I mean? It's
True.
just over and done with.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I do believe there was I don't know if it was a exact statement or an official statement from the victim with Nelly, but she kind of said she started to pull back on her story because of the backlash that she got, and
Exactly.
she received, and so
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. It's tough.
It is. It's a difficult situation to be in.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But Shonda gave us results. We can do better.
Yes,
Okay.
all of us, men and women, we all need to do better when it comes to these things.
And she gave you the instructions how.
All right, let's lighten it up a little bit.
Right.
Let's light
Oh
up
my
the
God.
mood.
Light up the mood. It's time for some rhymes. So Shonda's rhymes.
Yes, Shonda
Let-
rhyme.
Rhymes.
So this week, I just, a lot of stuff is focused around the Grey's Anatomy episode
Yeah,
today.
for sure.
So another thing, so like I said, they kind of would do things just to make you remember about past episodes. So a lot of the songs that they played in that the last episode were from past seasons and things that happened with that song. Like you remembered that moment,
Yeah.
with the character and things like that. So so this week on the playlist, we have Young Folks, which was originally played in season 3. And that is when Izzy's character came back to the hospital after she was on probation, after she almost killed the patient she was in love with. And Christina's covering up for Burke and things like that. So that one I didn't really pick up on. But
Missed that
I
part.
missed that one. But other people did.
Hey, hey,
Oh,
hey,
look at
hey.
that.
Get our music on. Get our music on.
Now that, see,
Oh,
here's the
now
thing.
you remember.
I don't remember the moment, but it gives me that familiar feeling.
Okay, it's the
Like,
familiarity with it. Yeah, that
So
makes
see what
total
they did?
sense.
Oh, Shonda, she's awesome.
Clever, very clever.
Let's see. The other song was "Keep Breathing." So this was a song also from from season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was when Christina realized Burke left her at the altar.
Oh my gosh! Did they do any nods to Burke? Any salutes to Burke?
Oh, shade.
Because I forgot about it. Y'all know.
Now that I think
There was
about
some
it,
drama with him.
I don't think they did.
See how they do.
Oh, one little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this.
Is it take
This
you
one made
there?
me
It does.
very
It kind of. It
sad.
just, like I said, it just has that familiar feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of did a little bit.
Okay.
Something about it was Christina, the doppelganger of Christina, the Cleo character. Meredith brought in Owen. I was like, doesn't she remind you of Christina? And he was like, no. She's like, well, I'll just call Burke and ask him. So like they did a little thing. Because
So
at
to
first I
play
was gonna
on.
say shade. They didn't say anything about him.
No, they
but
kept
they
him
did.
at bay's
They
end.
did. That was
Sure
right.
did.
Just like with Izzy, it was like
Exactly.
real quick,
We're not giving you a whole
in
lot.
and out. That's it. And then the last song that they had that was like an old song was the song "They," which played in the pilot episode.
Oh
of
my
Meredith's
goodness.
character. I know
Oh, so they took you
all the way back
to
Wow,
the very
to the
number
very
one.
beginning.
Yes, to the very beginning.
Wow.
This episode, Meredith got lost in the hallways with her patient. So, like, she was still an intern, first day at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Gray's daughter, or no, not Gray, Ellis' daughter.
Right, right. Did you remember it? Hearing that one?
She was like, it took me a bit.
So the songs didn't really stick
Thank you.
for me.
So this was a really like, are you a true fan
Are you a
type
true
of
fan?
Right.
Yeah.
That
Some of
moment.
the, yeah, like,
Ooh,
Okay. Right? Can get with it.
yeah.
That's
So,
so cool.
Yeah, I like that they did that. So, like I said, for certain fans, you probably did remember the original episode. For
Right.
me, I just knew it felt familiar.
Right. You knew it
You
came
had
from a
that
place
feeling.
Yeah, it was
before.
like,
I'm like that too. I'm
Yeah.
like, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's super exciting too. That's what I like about the whole Shonda Rhimes segment. Is because with TV, like everything now is like about a playlist and music and all of that. And so I'm looking forward to like this week really having a chance to watch my favorite Shonda shows because
Yeah.
they really do build these moments to kind of take the episode forward. Without the music, like where would we be watching? So I
Oh
wonder.
my gosh,
And
the
I love
dark
Half the
that, yeah.
music
tears
that
you
she
have
be
would not be
using.
there. Okay.
And I
You
love
would
that
be
they use
feeling.
songs, like actual songs, instead of just like a little background music.
Right, it's
you know
not
what I
just
mean? Like
instrumental.
a
It
little
would
TV
give you
score
a
or something
whole,
like that.
yes.
Yeah.
And Shonda
The whole
does such
song.
a good job, especially with
Yes.
like Scandal. I feel like Scandal is like always an awesome playlist.
Oh, it is.
Scandal's good.
I'm trying to think out of the three. That's the one I think that always has like these recognizable moments of
Yes.
music.
Yeah,
So-
Scandal
And
is
then
good.
How to Get Away with Murder is more like dark.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
dark.
And Grey's Anatomy is emotional. That's probably why
Right.
I don't want to remember these songs. They're too
Exactly.
emotional. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yes.
So this week we all should come back with a song from.
Okay.
It can be from any
Any of the
Any
shows.
any show,
Okay.
but come back with a song.
Like our favorite
Hopefully they
song
won't
from-
be the same, but
And let us know if you guys have a song as well.
Yes, that too. Yeah.
that's so cute.
Hashtag
Cool.
Shonda Rhimes.
Hey. Yeah, so don't forget to tweet us or in the comments, you guys leave your suggestions for
Little
songs.
feedback.
And wine too. I don't know. I didn't check. I'm not even going to sit here and tell a tale. I didn't check to see if you guys suggested a wine, but we will next week. So
Yes.
please, like I said
Put
in the
your
comment
suggestions.
sections, please put
Yes.
suggestions for wine.
Tori has been looking at your guys' comments, so she did say that there was somebody that said there was a $5 wine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I gotta go check.
We'll look
that
into
out.
that for next week. We'll look into that.
All right, now it's time
Favorite part.
to get into some conversations.
Everybody's favorite segment.
What
Yes.
What
would
would
you
you do?
do?
Okay. Give us the
I
question.
had to wait for that part. Sorry.
Right,
That's my
right.
favorite.
She's like, wait,
That's my favorite part. So, this is coming from the How to Get Away with Murder episode from Thursday. So, what would you do if your significant other was lying to you, but they were lying to protect you, but they were still lying to you?
And so to put it to provide, I guess, a little cushion, just a little more context, we got to see on How to Get Away with Murder, like, we dealing with like these huge things and murders and mystery and, you know, feeling like your significant other is going to be safer without knowing because they don't have to face like jail time or they're not in danger
or they might get
all
die.
these things. So it is a huge question. Like if somebody is like truly like trying to lie because they believe it's the best like measure to protect you, what would you do?
Right.
For me, I don't know, because I'm gonna tell you right now. Let's be clear. I am not a fan. I can't stand a liar. A liar is a cheater. A cheater is a liar. I don't want nothing to do with neither one of them. I feel that I'm always the person that's like super honest. Like we could be talking for like 2 days, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just tell you about the situation so that I just want to be very clear and upfront. You know what I mean? So I look to be like I'm inquisitive. Like I want to know things, and I want you to feel that, hey, the biggest lines for protecting a relationship is communication. So I'm very much that person. I don't know honestly how it would feel, because I feel like you get a certain amount of respect for being upfront and honest, and you kind of can get a pass. You can get away with murder.
I'll be like, wait a minute, hold on.
You can kind of get away with murder up front because it's like, oh, wow, you've been so honest. But to come back 3 months, 6 months, a year later and to reveal like this deepest, darkest thing to me, I don't know how I'm going to receive that. And what does that do to our trust? Like, what other things could you possibly have been? When I think that I know you so well, I don't know where we go from there. So...
That's a good point. I'm on the fence because I feel like if it's a situation like this, like in How to Get Away with Murder, where it is so serious, you know, where it's like, well, what you don't know won't hurt you, or you know what I mean? Like it's best for you if you don't know, because like what if I go down? I don't want to bring you down with me and things like that. So maybe it just depends on what your significant other is involved in, what kind of activities. Okay. So maybe you're a little understanding, like, you know what, you're right, because I'm not going down.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell y'all right now, you put me on the stand, I'm not perjuring myself. So
that's that, you know, unless you want to get married real quick or whatever, that can solve that. But other than that, no.
It's tough.
So, yeah, I don't know. But I still, in that, I wouldn't want you to hold it for that long, though. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hold it for forever. Yeah. And the other thing, like, it has to be that serious, though. It can't be like, oh, I'm trying to protect you from your feelings. Like, you know, I slept with this girl last week. I didn't want to tell you because I'm protecting your feelings. No,
that's a whole nother different thing.
It's like
a whole different situation.
Yes. It has to be
so
life
that
or
you
death.
need to tell me. Yeah. Exactly. It has to be like life or death situation.
With this, I would be a little bit upset, but I understand where you're coming from because you came from a good place. Now, I do agree. I'm big on communication. So we would have had to talk about this. Like, nah, you don't get to decide for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
We have to have a conversation about this. Yeah. But I wouldn't break up with him.
Yeah, I agree. Like, give me the opportunity to make a decision. And I think in the episode, we got to see it approached in two different ways. Because on one hand, it's like, are you going to be Michaela and Asher? Like that, I feel like, no. You should have just told me because I'm a part of your mess too. Whereas
I beat him up.
I'm more understanding and more sensitive with Ollie and Connor, because for his it was like we got to see him interact with all he wanted to tell it, and they were like no, and then I really have this moment where oh my gosh, there's no way I can make this commitment. And I was like,
I did love that. I was like, because at first when he was denying the proposal, I was like, why? And then for that, and that's a good relationship because he wanted, like we just said, he wanted to tell him, but everyone else involved with the situation didn't want him to. Don't tell. So for the fact that like, oh, you want to marry me? I want to this marriage or this situation to start on solid ground.
How can you not honor that?
We also got to think Connor just came from a deep depression to now he's finally happy. So would you really want to ruin that happiness after you just seen them come from a dark place?
Yeah, but like we're saying to the flip side, don't try to protect my feelings.
True.
Don't give me the opportunity. If I got to go back into this dark, deep hole, you better leave me.
At least maybe y'all will be in it together.
But I think you said it best. Communication is key.
Yeah, for sure. But we want to know. So what would you do? This week's question, if you're in a relationship and you find out your significant other is lying to you to protect you.
From life or death.
Yeah,
What
it has to be very serious.
what would you do? Okay.
What'd you do?
Take all the time you need, but y'all need to let us know by next Monday. Y'all know it's
Yes.
hashtag TGIM. And we want to know. We want to talk about it with
Yes.
Tori and really kind of see some different perspectives.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to just be one-sided.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sure Tori has some things. Well, it's How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh,
so
we have to
never
make
mind.
her. She has to come. Oh, she doesn't watch How to. But she still needs to
but
tell
she-
us what she would do.
But yeah, I think she would still have a good perspective.
She would know what to do, though.
I'm like, you could lie to me for like a little while, but not.
Lanisha's like, nope, she don't watch it. She can't
She
be a
don't
part of
watch.
it.
She don't watch my Viola Davis.
So she can
She gets no
forget
say.
about it. Yeah,
Tori's
so.
probably looking at this like, look at this girl just
But
betraying me.
I'm super excited to see the playlist, the what would you do moments.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
so
wine,
it's-
so we don't have to drink
Yes.
Coke.
Yeah.
Child, it'll be here
Still
next
good.
week.
Need some ice. Anyway, so yes, just do
Beggars
everything
can't
that
be
Keith
choosers
said.
now.
What you said?
I said beggars can't be choosers now.
Child, you're right. She's correct. So like I said, just make sure you guys do everything that Keith just said. Make sure you hit us up in the comments on the YouTube page and on Twitter, hashtag TGIM. And we will see you guys next week. I'm El Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at El Marie TV.
That's right. I'm Keith Andre. Again, everywhere on social media at Keith_Andre. Let us know how you feel.
Hey guys, I'm Lynneisha. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lynneisha, spelled LANISHA 914.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.